There's nothing quite like a good farming simulation game. The familiar act of relaxing, interacting with townspeople, tending to your crops, and enjoying some good casual fun is something that I look forward to. However, there's often more to a farming sim than meets the eye, and this year is absolutely packed with releases, so let's get out our farming hats and magic wands to check out Homestead Arcana and see how it stands out. Before we get into the review, we'd like to thank our Patreon supporters for making this possible. Please take a second to check out patreon.com/noisypixel to support independent game journalism.
This is
Homestead Arcana begins by creating your own avatar, a fledgling witch who embarks on a magical adventure with your familiar cat, Huckleberry, who, I should probably point out, is voiced by none other than Yuri Lowenthal, to find out what can be done about the miasma that has plagued the region. The game begins as you complete an initiation rite that serves as a tutorial. Unfortunately, the tutorial does very little to set the foundation of the game, opting instead to have you watch through a series of on-screen explanations, which feels boring and uninspired. Furthermore, while the intro cutscene does set up a bit on what's going on with the world, the game itself just feels a little dry. Most of the text is communicated through documents found across the miasma, or from letters you get from your hometown, with the only people you can even talk to being Abraham, the shopkeeper who will come every morning, or Huckleberry, who can speak English. Farming is accomplished by planting the seedling into the ground and then watering it every day. But if you're impatient, you can channel your mana energy into your crop and have it instantly grow. But every power comes with responsibility. If you channel too much energy into the plant, you'll cause it to blither, which will stop it from producing. Generally, I found that using the spell twice and then just watering every day is the ideal spot, but that brings me to an annoyance I had with this system. You see, Homestead Arcana does not have a seasonal system, and once a crop fully matures, it keeps producing items unless you blight it to prevent it from producing further product. Furthermore, aside from your spells, you have no access to any tools such as axes, fishing rods, hammers, or pickaxes. You can't raise animals such as sheep, cows, or chickens, and there is no stamina stat. To sort of dance around the lack of systems that provide vital items, the developers have made even ores grow on plants, which just leads me to believe that they just didn't want to implement more systems and left it at that, which goes completely against what a farming simulator should be. In order to restore the valley from the miasma, you must craft items and revive the scar plants, which are capable of cleaning the air and absorbing the malicious substance. But time is of the essence, as you're given a mask with a time limit on how much the air filter inside can hold. Once that timer reaches 0, your HP will decay, and once that reaches 0, you're kicked to the entrance and any items you've collected are lost and returned to their original spots. Furthermore, by using your cauldron, you can craft potions that will temporarily give you a spell to help you progress. The first spell you'll learn is Ripple, a vision enhancement spell that helps you see traps or enemies that might be lurking, and this is key since you do not have access to weapons of any kind. With no way to defend yourself, all you can do is hide and avoid their sight. You also have to keep a close eye on your hunger and mana, the former of which decreases over time, and the latter of which decreases the more you use your spells. Both can be restored with food items you can craft using your grill. That being said, I feel the target audience for farming games is primarily composed of casual players, who would rather have more intricate systems than perhaps caring about the voiceover. This is further evidenced by the game's performance, where I ran into frame drops as I explored the miasma and during the opening cutscene. And for a farming simulator, the requirements to run this title are abnormally high, considering some of its contemporaries can flawlessly run on much weaker hardware. In addition to this, animations feel stiff, and playing this on a controller hinders the experience, given that the controls are much more optimized for a mouse and keyboard to navigate the inventory, as well as harvesting and collecting crops, both of which you'll be doing frequently throughout the gameplay. Homestead Arcana is, to put it bluntly, a game that is subpar as a farming simulator, and its characteristics more closely resemble more of a dungeon crawler with the farming simulation aspect slapped on as more of an afterthought. And that means that all of its good ideas were ultimately void of their full potential, leading to a lacking experience regardless of whatever side you wish to judge it on. Yuri Lowenthal's performance as Huckleberry is certainly second to none, but that alone isn't capable of weighing against the uncountable amount of flaws that just made this a farming experience that was harvested before it was ripe. Noisy Pixel is giving Homestead Arcana a 4.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching. This video is brought to you by our supporters on Patreon. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers providing independent gaming coverage through news, reviews, previews, and more. Check out our Patreon to help support our continued growth, and subscribe to keep up with all of our future content.
Voice Pixel.